everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and here you will find information about my journey to health and confidence as I navigate life as an Army wife with a disability. What? Did she say Army wife with a disability? Yes. Yes, I did. So, today I'm going to go over a little bit of a follow-up from my video from last week where I talked a little bit about my health and confidence journey. What I didn't talk about last week, and that I'll cover today, is the reason why health and confidence have been such a challenge for me. So let's get into the video. So health and confidence are a challenge for everyone, right? Everybody has their own challenges and hiccups and hang-ups with eating what they need to eat, with moving around, and just finding the right balance in those things. For me, it's complicated by a physical disability. I have hydrocephalus, which is literally water on the brain, and cerebral palsy. Now, hydrocephalus can be managed in many different ways. And for me, it's managed by a shunt. What that is, for those of you who don't know, is a bulb that is attached to a ventricle in my brain where there is excess fluid, and then it goes down using a catheter down to my stomach. And that releases the pressure on my brain. And then along with that, I have cerebral palsy, which affects my motor skills, my depth perception, basically how I move around, how I experience the world. What that means in terms of exercising is different for each person who has cerebral palsy. Some people use a wheelchair to get around, others use a walker, others use crutches, others use braces, others use orthotics in their shoes. It all depends. And some people use a combination of those methods. For me, I have used built-in braces before. I used those for a couple of years. But right now, I just have orthotics that slide into my shoes. What it means for me in terms of how I get around is that I have poor balance. I have low muscle tone, and I have a weakness on the left side of my body with the sole exception of my ear, and in that case, it's my right. But that is not secondary to cerebral palsy. That is something else. So because of the weakness on my left side, walking is difficult. My left leg is 3/4 of an inch shorter than my right. So I've also had lifts in my shoes to make them so that my legs are a bit more even when I walk. I don't currently have those, but I did have them in the past. So using those different devices has helped me in various ways, but right now orthotics are the method that I use. So for me, basically, all that said, my balance is off. My depth perception and visual perception in general is off. So in the dark, for example, if I'm walking downstairs, I might have a hard time seeing the last step. Or if I'm standing at the top of an escalator, I have a hard time stepping onto the step in a steady manner. I tend to grip the handrail, or hold on to someone else. If I don't have somebody else with me, my muscles in my legs, my arms, everything, they tense up. It's almost like a fight or flight response that I get when I need to get on an escalator, because it just speaks to that challenge that I have with balance. And I've also had some close calls, but again, a story for another day. So balance, that's definitely an issue. Walking long distances is a challenge. I do it. If I have to walk much more than a mile or two, my legs get sore. I get tired. I may ask to slow down. I may ask to pause and sit down. If it's a situation where whomever I'm with, whether it's my husband or someone else, and we've parked far away from an entrance and I'm already tired and sore, I might ask them to go get the car while I wait with whatever we've purchased. So in general, there you see, that's the majority of my physical limitations. As more details come up, and if I realize that I've forgotten things, I promise I will clue you in. But all of those things, all those physical manifestations for me have really affected my confidence. In elementary school, it meant that I had an IEP, because with the physical limitations came learning limitations. I was slower to catch on to things. So with the individual education plan that I had, I was given the opportunity to have extra time to do my assignments. Sometimes it meant that I did half the work that everybody else did, or at least that was what I was allowed to do. I never wanted it to be that way. I wanted to do the same amount of work the same way that everyone else did. And there were many nights when my mom and I would be up late arguing over this fact. She'd remind me that I could do the odds or the evens, whatever the assignment was for the night, and I'd insist that no, I needed to do the whole assignment that my teacher had given, because that's what everyone else was doing. I didn't want to be separated from anyone else in any way. I didn't want to be different from anyone else in any way. It also meant that there were times when I would have extra time on tests. So especially for standardized tests, and then in college it was for my final exams, I could go to another room, whether it was another empty classroom or the library or the principal's office, and I could have some extra quiet, some extra space, and I'd have time and a half to do whatever the exam was. And again, even through college, I didn't want to be different from everyone else. I wanted to sit in that little desk right around my peers and do the test the way that everyone else did. Why? I have the disability. I know that. I've always known that. Even as a 6-year-old in first grade, using my pencil grips, using my splint on my hand, I knew that I was different, but I didn't want to be, and I did everything I could to fight that. I did everything I could to make myself appear as similar to my peers as I could. And sometimes that was okay. Sometimes it really wasn't, and I drove people, including myself, completely nuts. So yeah, cerebral palsy. Now, how, you ask, does someone with a physical disability that limits her mobility become an army wife? Oh my. Well, before I answer that question, I'm going to address another one. Part of my mobility issues, my depth perception, my general visual perception, everything, part of that is some anxiety. And I can't drive. I've tried. I've had lessons with a few different instructors. My mom tried to teach me. My dad tried to teach me. My stepmom, who's a teacher, tried to teach me. My siblings. I tried. I really did. But I couldn't do it. Now, most people, unless you live in a big city like New York City or Chicago or one of those places, most people have to drive to get around. You know this. Everybody knows this. So how is it that I, who have a physical disability, can get around and be a military wife? Keeping in mind that a military spouse is known for being independent and strong and just generally able to get stuff done at home when their service member is otherwise occupied with work-related things, whether it's something while they're at home, in the field, or deployed. Now that is a topic for my next video. Thanks so much for watching, and if you've liked this video and you're curious to see more, please click the like button and click subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!